Hey guys, so welcome to today's video. So a lot of you may not know, but me and my boyfriend Henry went to the Minecraft experience in London yesterday, which was Saturday the 27th. We went on Saturday the 27th of September, and it was super fun. So I decided that I would rebuild the Minecraft experience, but in Minecraft. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Plug in some music if you'd like. And yeah, so let's get to it. Hey guys, so this isn't gonna be like your casual voiceover. Because this is gonna be a bit different. I'm gonna be a bit more chill with this one, and I'm not really gonna take many breaks in between every single voiceover. But anyway, here I'm building the exterior where you'd enter the Minecraft experience. Woo! The Minecraft experience. And I'm just building a wheelchair ramp over here because they had one. It was a lot longer than what I built here, but you know, I changed that later on. Here I'm doing a floor plan with just regular purple wool. So it's, you know, really vibrant and you can really see what each bit is. Like what's the walls, what's the decor, all that. And I feel like purple is just a good colour to go against the grass, you know. Quite vibrant, quite visible. And I feel like with the end product, I made the floor plan really accurate, you know? Here, I was building the wall out of, like, I think it's green terracotta, but I ended up changing that for green concrete because this was just way too dull. And, you know, I got to fill in the floor with stone. So, here you go. You can have some stone ASMR. Okay, I think that's enough ASMR. So here I'm building the locker rooms, because you can only have a certain size bag when you go to the experience, and any other bigger bags have to go into mini lockers. So, um, me and Henry, when we came here, we put our bags in the lockers because unfortunately they were too big. And as you can see here, I'm putting some paintings down because in these containers they had posters of, like, you know, the prices, what you have to do, all that. Just like different, like little information sheets. And this thing that I'm building here, it's just a toilet. It was like a toilet on wheels. And as you can see here, I'm extending the wheelchair ramp because I felt like it was just too short for what it actually was. And so for the next bit, I got some dark, just normal grey concrete. I was gonna say dark concrete. I just filled in the floor because it, like, I feel like normal grey wouldn't fit, and the flooring was pretty dark, so I just went with normal grey concrete. And here, I kind of wanted to mimic like flowy black curtains, so I used some black banners and some wool to kind of mimic that. Here, you've got a little green screen because they took a photo of us in the beginning, which I later on bought. It was like 13 quid, which, you know, it hurt a bit spending that much money on a photo, but I feel like it was a good investment, you know. Here I'm placing more of the wool because actually, now that I'm looking at this, a lot of the walls are just black or just really dark. The whole experience was actually really dark. Like a lot, like there weren't many lights. Sorry for my English. There weren't many lights. So it was just like you had to squint and look. Also, I made these cute little lights using white buttons. I don't know what wood it is. White buttons and the light blocks you can get from commands. Here, I'm gonna change a lot of these blocks. This is just like base of what I'm doing. Pretty much this first room was the forest, which is where we get stone, we get dirt, we get wood, and we get coal. I'm pretty sure Henry got coal at some point in this whole thing. Here I'm just mapping out where all the wood goes. These little green concrete things is where you would stand with your interactive block and like swing your arms to break the trees. It was actually really cool. It was a lot cooler than I thought it was at the moment. Here they had a little hut, but we walked through into the next room, and I feel like it was meant to be oak logs. But when I took a lot of photos. When I was looking back at the photos, I felt like the oak wood just wasn't working, and the stripped spruce looked a lot better and a lot more accurate to what it actually looked like. So they switched all of that out for the stripped spruce. Then we had a couple of trees, 2 in the middle, and I think 3 on the sides. And there was quite a lot of like, what are they called? Like models. Like there was a huge iron golem. There was like a few pigs. It was so cute. Here I've done the roof, and they had some lanterns underneath, and they didn't have these trapdoors on the top, but I feel like it just looks a bit weird without having the trapdoors in game, so I just added them still. Then I added a foreground, or it's foreground? Background, actually. A background which was just green concrete with light blue concrete and spruce logs, to kind of show that, those logs that you'd be cutting down. And I wanted to have some invisible item frames to make it look like you were actually chopping it. So I got a command where you can make invisible item frames, and then I put the axes in there so it actually looked like you're chopping that log. And added that to all the trees that I had put up. The black, don't mind that. I do change that later on, as you can see here. Because I've realised that you can build a giant black platform and use a map to make like a black wallpaper. So that's what I did here. And that took me like, I'd say an hour, because I couldn't figure out the commands for my life. But yeah, so I just covered the whole wall in them. I feel like it was a lot cleaner than the banners, and I'm glad I tried it out. Like, I tried a lot of commands out while building this, and you know what? It's actually really fun playing with commands. Not gonna lie. So yeah, as you can see, I'm just covering the walls up again and again and again. I changed out the grey here, and by the way, there was no doors in between all these rooms. It was just like curtains, like grey curtains between each room. There was one room where there was a door, but it was like mechanical. We had to wait a while in the hallway for them to open it. Here, I'm using models, something I've never done before. I've summoned some animals with no AI. So as you can see here, I'm placing a golem, and it actually went really bad because I kind of placed him inside the wall, and he started taking quite a bit of damage. It was just really funny. Yeah, panic mode. So then I moved him over, and he turned out to be fine. Here I'm going over back into the tree, and I actually went a bit too low for this, but I wanted to put a little Minecraft bee because I had a bee hanging from the tree, but I'll put a photo up of what it looks like, and I put the bee a bit too low, fortunately. And so yeah, I just put up some little decorations they had, such as the tulips. They had a sign showing that the village is through that building or the little house, and they made it glow. So yeah, that was pretty much the first room done. I'm gonna add some detailing at the end, by the way, guys. So next bit, pretty much this is the light grey that I was talking about. So I placed this all over the floor, fill as much in as I could. I don't know why I went into settings over there. Anyways. So I just filled in the flooring, then I replaced the blocks that had like chests or crafting tables on them. There was a pillar for some reason behind one of the chests. But this whole theme of the room was kind of like those stereotypical underground bases where you've got like deep slate in the back, you've got a lot of spruce, you've got a lot of like natural woods. It's just giving like an underground base. And I was looking at photos of photos and videos I took in that room, and this is pretty much like exactly how this room looked. It was a little bit taller. I did make these rooms a little bit too short, as in like height wise. But other than that, I'd say this is really, really accurate to what it actually looks like. So it was just the same thing on the other wall. The third wall was a bit bland, so I don't think I'm going to bother showing you guys what that looks like. This little bit here, yeah. And so at the front, this is the most important bit. This is where they have the whole activity going on, which is pretty much, it shows up in these little item frames what we're meant to be crafting, and each chest around the room, but we've got those 4 chests we made at the beginning. They've got different blocks inside them. You need to put your block on there to like pick the block up. And we were in little teams. It was me and Henry in a team together. And you had to create different tools such as like buckets or I don't know, pickaxes as you can see here. And yeah, you just go over to each chest, pick up the block, quickly run to your crafting table and do as much as you can. I think we got like 18 done. But honestly, I loved this what's it called? I loved this activity. That's what I was thinking. It was my favorite. Out of all of them, this one was absolutely my favorite. I put some more lighting in there because I felt like, you know, the front is meant to be a screen. Like, it has to be really, really bright for it to actually look like a screen. And yeah, I just checked. We actually got 20. I also felt like the room was a bit too dark, so I put some sea lanterns in front of the crafting tables, and I feel like that really helped it. So yeah, so pretty much that room was done, and it was time for the villager making room, as in like where we make a villager village, you know, basic village. So the glass thing that you can see in the middle of the room is pretty much this large table with like loads of screens on it, and it's kind of like a little 2D world from up top, like a bird's eye view, where you're creating a village. Well, you're not really making it, you're just kind of like pressing on hearts and all that to build the village and kind of aid the village. So here I'll show you guys a video of what that looks like. So enjoy that.
Blocks on these, when the blocks flash up. Skeletons! Danger. High voltage.
These two? This is not what I meant by tourists.
So yeah, that was really fun. We were on the end block, so no. It was very interactive, and I didn't know what I was doing half the time though. So here we moved on to the coolest room ever, to be honest. This was like a 3-in-1 because it was like the walls were changing scenery. So at the beginning it was like a jungle where we were getting, what's it called, sugarcane. Then it was a snow biome where we were getting snowballs, and then we had this, the ocean corally area. And so here at the front I try to make a guardian temple, ocean monument, that's what it's called. So I tried to make an ocean monument. I filled in some of the bits with a lot of water, try and put as many fish as I can in there to make it look more lively. As you can see, one escaped, and I don't know if I killed it or if it just suffocated. Yeah, anyway. So that was one side. On the other side, I couldn't do that, unfortunately, because, you know, there's a wall right there. So yeah, I just filled that in with cyan concrete. And on this side, there was a boat. I will put the photo up of the boat right now. And yeah, it was honestly so cool. Like, you guys, if there's ever a Minecraft experience again here in London, not here in London, I don't live in London, what am I talking about? If there's ever an experience in London, I would so recommend going to it. I'm so glad I had the opportunity to go. It was definitely worth it. So yeah, I just filled it up with water, and it was time to put in some sea lanterns because I felt like it was a bit too dark. And then later on I put some fishies, some coral, and yeah, I thought that it looked really cute and really accurate to what it looked like IRL. Next, I put some more little lights because, you know, it still felt a bit dark, and then I filled in the wall in the hallway to black. Also, I realised I could put these on the floor and like kind of scatter around the items, because what you're meant to do is meant to open the chest and the items scatter all over the floor, and then you're meant to walk over them to pick them up. It was so cool. It was a bit laggy though, but it was really cool. And then in this little like window, I wanted to put a guardian because I'll put a photo up of what I saw, but there was a little guardian swimming around. It was really cute. It was an elder one, but you know, I can't fit an elder guardian in that small little area, so I just put a regular guardian in there. On this wall, I couldn't do any glass, unfortunately, because on the other side, there's meant to be a room. So here, I just kind of try to make like 2D art of an ocean with some fishies swimming around. And please imagine that the coral and all the seagrass is actually touching the sand. I tried my best, and I feel like it actually turned out better than I thought it would. So I hope you guys like that beautiful little wall of 2D fish and 2D art. And then I pretty much just did the same thing on the other side. But I feel like this room was a major success. Like, I actually ended up loving this room. So here you go. That's the finished aquarium room, or the 3 seasons. Then I moved into the hallway, and it was again just some light grey concrete, because this room was meant to be where we fight some mobs, like skeletons, like zombies, spiders, creepers. Also, our guardian kind of escaped, and I had to smack them back in. But yeah, pretty much I switched that out for stone though, because you know all the walls in this area, because it was a cave, were meant to be stone, so I did that. Also here we had a minecart with some redstone ore. I did a little command to put redstone ore inside the minecart, and then I wanted to put a cave spider on top. I don't know if I have a picture of the spider, but I have a video of me putting a block on the redstone with the spider on it to activate something, and I'll show you guys that in a sec. Here's me putting the coordinates in. Oh, sorry guys. I just came back from uni, so I'm a bit tired. Also here, I had to put some stone in the back because you can't put maps next to fences, so I ended up just building some kind of like rocks on the other side to kind of blend that in. So I didn't have to, you know, think too hard and try and figure out what to do. Here we're building some walls for the hallway. Again, all these hallways were really dark and it was just black wool all over them. Also, I forgot to put the doors. Here are the doors. So yeah, so here's the walls. I switched out that corner piece because you know you don't see it from the other side of the room, so I might as well just put it in the corner. I covered it up anyway a little bit. I only didn't cover it up from one side. Here is the contraption that I was talking about. This contraption was pretty much we get some redstone for the spider, and then we put it where the redstone meets in the corners, and it like sets off this thing in the rooms, not rooms, on the screen, where it shoots like TNT or it shoots like arrows at the mobs, and that was really fun. Anyways, next, were these little arrows where again you stand, it connects, and like you know you have to swing your arm to like hit the mobs or shoot at the mobs. Unfortunately, my block wasn't working properly during this this activity. But I wasn't the only one having issues. I think it was just there was a lot of blocks being used at the same time, you know. But my blog was definitely broken, because I'll tell you guys a little story. So wait till the end, because I'll tell you guys a little story about my blog. So anyway, here I'm building the little rooms. They weren't actually rooms, they were screens, but you know, I want to make this look cooler. So I built these little rooms that are meant to be, you know, the screens, the displays. And it was just these massive caves with a lot of lava, with a rail in the back. And there was just a couple of mobs in there, not too many. I couldn't fit the creepers in there, so I made the creepers their own little room. Because actually, I only went to the left side of the room, I didn't go to the end, so I don't know what it was at the end. But I'm guessing it was just another screen because there were more pods to stand on. So I just put the creepers in there. And I felt like the room looked a bit too bland, so I got some diorite, some andesite, and I decided to texture the walls, and that looked really good. Damn, so that was that. We went on to the next room, which is kind of blended in with the hallway, because it was time to make the nether portal. So I blacked out the hallway once again. This room was meant to be really dark. Like, I'll show you guys a video in a sec of what it looked like, but it was super dark in there. And it was pretty much we had to get water from one side of the room, and I didn't keep this nether portal, I changed it. Here you go, here's the water side. There was water on one side, there was lava right here where I'm placing blocks, and then on the other side was like this little station where we had to mix both. So some people got water, some people got lava. We'd put the lava first onto the interactive block, and then we put the water on there to make obsidian. Here, I've switched out the stone because, you know, the room was a lot darker than this. So I put in some black wool and then tried to texturize it by putting some orange, some basalt, some deep slate, all that to kind of like make a gradient of some light, you know? Cool, we got it.
I love this side, well done.
Cute. Yeah, so that activity was really fun, and now we went through the Nether portal into this little like chill break room where we could take some pictures, some selfies with the piglins. And so, you know, piglins, gold, so I put some gold on the floor, summoned in some piglins, and yes, that room was done. That was the quickest room ever. Anyway, another hallway coming up. So for this hallway, it was just another black hall. For this room, we were in the nether now, in another fortress. So we had some soul sand on the floor, some soul soil, and there was some lava in between which we had to like, you know, hop through. So to do that, I just made a little lava lake in between all these bits and put some glass on the top so you can actually, you know, walk on it. But yeah, this room was actually really cute. I've got a few photos in this room. I would not be showing you guys, unfortunately, because I don't want to show my face yet. I had some little lava towers as well, because there was some, you know, lava flowing from the roof, into some of the little lava pools. So there were like 3 in total. There was 1 on the left, 2 on the right. Here there was a tree in the middle. I don't know what it's called. It was like a red nether tree. And it had some vines hanging off of it. So that's what I added. It was actually pretty accurate to the actual thing. Here I just filled it in with more nether bricks. And this little bit here is where the actual screen was. The whole room was like huge, but the actual attraction was here in the back. As you can see, I put some barrels down. There was like a little wall that separated us from the screen, and there was some white tennis balls that were like coming down, and they were meant to be the snowballs, and we would throw these at the blazes, the gas, all that would be coming at the screen. There were piglins, there was loads. There was like wither skeletons too. So here I'm just covering up the wall again with some more of that black wallpaper. And I think that was all done for lighting. As you can see here though, I forgot to change up the purple wool on the bottom though. Better be doing that soon. Here I changed another portal because it was so annoying to teleport in between each room. So I just changed it up for purple banners. Here I finally switched up the purple wool. I don't know why it took me so long to realise, but yeah, here you go. It's changed. Here I did change the slab into a block so I can actually place like snowballs and item frames on there because I feel like that'd be like such amazing detail. Here I couldn't pick what kind of glass pane to use, but I did end up going with the orange because the screens did have like a warm orangey tint to them, so I feel like this was the most realistic I could go for. I placed some blazes inside, one of them did escape, so I had to, you know, murder it real quick. But I wanted to have different levels, because on the actual, like, minigame, there were levels that the mobs could be on, so I added some little shelves that the mobs could chill on, and yeah, I just blocked them in with some barrier blocks, and then I ended up adding more wither skeletons. One of them did unfortunately die in that corner. But yeah, I feel like this room turned out pretty accurate, especially with the snowballs, as I put some behind the counter and on the counter, and I did block off the lava things just for safety reasons. I don't think I'll ever play this in survival, but I don't know, I still added it. I blocked in the hallway in here, which I didn't show you guys, just to save you some time, but this was like the winner's room. It was pretty much, you've come to the end of this amazing journey, and now you're making a potion which is meant to cure all the villagers, because we got the gold from the ocean to make golden apples, and we got blaze powder for the potions. Yeah, here it was meant to be like a on the left zombie, on the right villager, like yay, we saved them. But it was like a whole animation and everything. This is where my block wasn't working properly. And so I will show you guys the video of my block not working with the winner's video in the background.
This potion before the zombie villagers spot us. We need your ingredients. Hurry. Get your orbs in the slots around the broomstick to unload everything you collected.
Mine's not glowing. That's my love. Shut up.
That wasn't yours.
That is mine, the one in the corner, yeah. The one that's not glowing, that's mine.
It's almost ready. Splash potion of weakness.
Golden apples!
We did it.
We made a great team! We're all invited to the trading post to celebrate.
You are amazing. Just look at all the villagers you saved. Before you leave, check out all your achievements.
And that was it for the whole experience. Unfortunately, it did have to come to an end. Here I did end up making the little merchandise room. There's a little cafe next to the Minecraft experience, but I didn't really put much in here because the whole focus of this video is the actual Minecraft experience itself. So yeah, it was really fun. I put in some windows, I put in some plants, and overall this experience was amazing, and I'm so grateful that I was able to go to this. And yeah, I hope there'll be one sometime in the future as well, because I would love to go to it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. So yeah, bye bye!